Sorry.
No, you're fine.
So what is your complete like job title? Exactly, like
Assistant Professor of Bioengineering.
bioengineering is like a mixture because what I want to do when I grow up is like biomedical engineering, you know. So is
Yeah.
that like part of bioengineering or is it just like a
Yeah,
like a
the term bioengineering, the best thing to think of it is it's just a synonym for biomedical. Different people will say that they imply slightly different things, but realistically, they're
It's
the
all
same.
like- alright.
Yeah.
and it's please describe your job and your duties, you know, like
So the three major components of my job are teaching, research, and what we call service. I'll start with service, even though that's the smallest portion of my job. I wish it was smaller. Service is things like committees, outreach, the basic things I need, the faculty at a university need to do to make sure the university keeps functioning. An example of teaching is I teach classes, so I teach 3 classes a year, and then in a few years, when I become an associate professor, I'll teach 4 classes a year. And then research is the majority of my time, and I have 5 graduate students and about 10 undergraduate students who I direct in research. So they perform experiments, I meet with them every week, we talk about their progress. I write grant proposals and try to get funding from foundations and the government and things like that to fund my students. And those are the 3 major chunks of my job.
Do you have to like write papers or something? Because I know other professors, they have to write papers and then like submit into all that.
Yeah, so I have to write manuscripts. My students write manuscripts. I just edit them and then we submit them together. But that's the major output of our research, is that and things like conference presentations and stuff like that. We try to publicize all the work that we do to the scientific community.
So like, how's your schedule? Is it like really tight? Is it like there's no free time, or is it?
I work 78 hours a week, pretty easily. Not every faculty does that. Some work significantly less, some work significantly more. The schedule is pretty demanding. Regardless of how much you work, you're never actually going to be on top of everything. Mostly because any downtime you have, someone's going to notice, and they're just giving you more stuff to do.
So like starting with high school, like please describe your educational background chronologically. Sorry.
So after high school, I did some about a year at community college, and I also took night classes while I was in high school at community college, so that I could get my 4-year degree a little bit faster and save a little bit of money. I went to UC Davis for my undergraduate. I majored in mechanical and aeronautical engineering. Then I got my master's at UC Davis, also in mech aero, and I got my PhD doing bioengineering, but it was still in the mech aero department. So I studied hemodynamics, so blood flow and things like that. After that, I did 2 postdocs. So after I got my PhD, I trained in 2 other labs, learning molecular biology and developmental biology to really reinforce some of the biology, because as a mechanical engineer, I didn't know a lot of the biology in biomedical engineering.
So you spent more like more of your college experience in like the mechanical area of the field.
Up until my PhD, I was going to be a rocket scientist. Like I was going to build rockets, spaceships, things like that. That was my goal. After I got my bachelor's degree, there weren't really any jobs, or not many jobs. Excuse me. There weren't really any jobs, so I went back to grad school and just got more and more interested in the biology. So I started out with very mechanically focused on the like in biomedical sciences, but more microfluidics and device design and things like that. And then over time, I just started being more and more interested in the biology.
So if you had to do it all over again, like the studying, would you do anything differently, or were you pretty successful in everything you did and you're proud of?
Yeah, I mean, there's always things that you can improve upon, but 90% of it you learn as you go. So I don't
It's
really
really
have
just
any
adapting
regrets.
to.
Yeah.
All right.
Never tie yourself down to one thing.
What advice would you give me? So, like, same thing. I want to pursue biomedical engineering. What would be the best piece of advice you could give me for the future?
More than anything, it's dedication and taking advantage of the opportunities you have. There's never going to be a
solid, like.
Yeah, you just do this
Yeah.
and everything works out. You basically, if you want to do something, then just do it. And if you have a non-standard path, that's fine. A lot of people get upset, like, let's say you don't get into college when you apply. Well, go to CC. It's cheaper, you'll learn just as well, and then you transfer to college. Let's say you want to go to grad school, but you don't get in the first time. Well, you work for a year, and then you go to grad school, next year, kind of thing. Like, always keep trying. Don't worry about what the standard path is. If you try to chase that, you're constantly gonna struggle. There's
You're
always
cutting like all these options off, and you need to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Very nice meeting. I think you can get out of here, okay?